clash in nature's savage battle of survival. On land, under the sea, and in the air. All are locked in deadly conflict. Animals fight tooth and claw to win food, territory, and rights to the bloodline. From the African savanna to the wilds of North America, there are no rules. This is Animal Fight Club. The savanna is always dangerous. Every tree or bush might conceal an ambush. But for many of the hunted, the biggest danger is not a surprise attack, but a relentless killing machine. The African hunting dog. Pound for pound, these wild dogs have the strongest bite on the African plains. Their success comes down to teamwork. They're tireless hunters. Once these guys are on your tail, you're done. Today, the wild dogs chase down an impala. But just because you make the kill doesn't mean you get to eat it. On the savanna, there are no rules. At least not for the spotted hyena. Africa's second largest carnivore, with a bite that can crack bone. They're opportunistic thieves who'll think nothing of stealing someone else's dinner. This lone hyena thinks he can steal this meal right from under the wild dogs' noses. He wants the kill and isn't afraid to go for it. But he has a weakness. He keeps his butt on the ground to protect the crown jewels. It doesn't work. The dogs chase him off. Plan B, call a buddy. One will be the getaway driver. The other will guard the rear. It's an audacious heist and pays off. Working together, the hyenas fight off the dogs. The hyena is powerfully built, with a long neck, sloping back, and strong forequarters. A perfect physique supports its forceful jaws. But then the hyena gets greedy. He goes back for more by himself. But he bites off more than he can chew. The dogs take back a chunk of the kill. Now they want the rest. But as long as the hyenas face outwards, and they keep their vulnerable rear ends protected, they can hold off the dogs. But these dogs have a plan. They hassle the hyenas and split them. hyena is on the menu. One of them calls it quits, leaving the other hyena knee-deep in wild dogs. He wants to run, but with dogs hanging off him, he can't. They taste blood and want to finish the job. He escapes with his life. But his prospects are not good. He's badly injured. This is a victory for teamwork. The most dangerous game animal in Africa, the Cape buffalo, aka the Widowmaker. When provoked, they trample and gore 200 people to death each year, 4 times stronger than an ox. This ton of beefed-up muscle can charge at 30 miles an hour. Their curved horns, more than 3 feet across, are a deadly weapon. Between them, an impenetrable bone shield called the Boss. It's so hard, it can deflect a bullet. In the breeding season, the sound of clashing bosses can be heard over half a mile away. Only one can win. The loser will either be dead or so badly injured, he's walking lion meat. The current head of the herd is the older, darker bull. The lighter, browner bull is younger, greener, but just as determined. The older bull aims for the vulnerable neck and lifts the youngster clean off the ground. That's almost a ton. The teenager recovers and fends off the horns. The older bull is using every ounce of his strength to yank the youngster's head up with a force that can twist the bull bars on a pickup, hoping to get a clean shot at the youngster's neck. Again, the challenger saves his skin by getting his head down. It's round 1 to the old bruiser. Round 2. The youngster comes out swinging. He turns his older opponent, aiming for his vulnerable flank. The young gun lands a horn into his rival's chest. Then the youngster gets in another shot. It's a bullseye. With 2 serious blows, the youngster wins this round by a mile. Round 3 will be the decider. The old bull is tiring and injured. He needs a KO. Bam! A horn in the top of his opponent's neck. The youngster's badly hurt. He's had enough. The champ keeps his title. In nature's brutal fight for survival, one false move can be the difference between death and life. thousands of zebras migrate, traveling up to a staggering 300 miles in search of better grazing pasture. It's a dangerous journey, and many won't make it. On the way, they need water. This herd of zebra finds what looks like a safe spot for a drink. Danger can lurk anywhere. Zebras can run up to 35 miles per hour, the same as lions. But zebras have stamina. If the zebras reach the plains, they should be home free. But one fully grown stallion doesn't make it. The lioness has the zebra in a terrifying hold. Retractable 1.5-inch claws give a vice-like grip, almost impossible to loosen. But as long as the zebra stays upright, he has a slim chance. The lioness is trying to suffocate the zebra, applying close to 400 pounds of bite force to sever vital arteries and crush the windpipe. Injuries that could prove fatal. But this zebra can last for 5 minutes without breathing. A fully grown lioness is strangling this zebra. But the zebra is showing what he's made of. He uses his half-ton bulk to crush the lioness. And he has another weapon. He bites with spade-like teeth aimed at the soft underbelly. Male zebras are supreme fighters. Pointed canine teeth stick up and are used to attack other stallions. The teeth are sharpened through grooming and fighting and can tear through skin and muscle, with a force similar to a nutcracker cracking a nut. The bites hurt the lioness so much, she loses her stranglehold. It's enough. The zebra breaks off. This is one zebra who has earned his stripes. And this lioness may have to wait for days for another meal that big. A chance for a big kill is too precious to pass up. but you may have to fight tooth and claw to keep your paws on it. It's early spring in Alaska. Two of the top predators in North America are about to come face to face. These two wolves feast on an 1,800-pound moose. News of a big kill travels fast. This young brown bear has just woken up from 5 months of winter sleep. He needs to fatten up, and he's not up for sharing. His message is clear: back off. The bear's back and torso is an incredible concentration of muscle, which delivers enormous power to his forelimbs. At the end of his front paws, he has deadly claws which could decapitate a wolf. Two wolves don't have good odds against a hungry bear. But wolves have an incredible 280 million smell receptors, around 50 times more than a human. A wolf can smell the moose from over a mile away. And it's not long before every wolf in the area is on the case. The bear backs off. Now he tries to sneak back. He takes his seat at the table, but he's a nervous guest. And with good reason. The wolves who now outnumber him could turn him into a second course. It's wolves' speed versus bear's brute strength. The wolves have numbers on their side and work as a pack. They bait the bear, pushing him away from the carcass. He turns constantly, so no one can get in behind him. This dancing bear has the moves, but no longer has the moose. He may be outnumbered, but this hungry bear isn't going to give up without a fight. Neither side backs down. A young brown bear is hijacking this wolf pack's moose. Both parties just want to eat in peace. But that just doesn't happen. The bear's outnumbered and risks his life for another mouthful of moose. The pack of 5 wolves can easily outlast the bear. Their plan is to exhaust him. Incredibly, the bitter enemies, tired of fighting each other, sit down together. Hunger makes strange bedfellows. Lions are the royalty of the savannah, the apex predator. On a good day, only 1 out of 3 hunts work. That means sometimes they have to go after the biggest game of all, the Cape buffalo. They've been at each other's throats for thousands of years. This pride of lions hasn't eaten in days. Game is scarce. A buffalo would be the answer to their prayers. But high reward comes with high risks. Buffalo can look after themselves and each other. The younger and weaker animals are kept in the middle of the herd, protected by the bigger and stronger bulls. The pride's only hope is to isolate a vulnerable animal away from these guards. The lions go for it. And in the confusion, one bull is left alone. She can't take down this one-ton buffalo on her own. And he's ready to charge. But two large males lend a hand. The buffalo turns and runs. A buffalo's hide is thicker than a rhino's. He's not done yet. His only hope is to keep moving so he can buck the lions off his back. Lions' front paws have 4 backward-facing retractable claws, and a 5th dew claw that acts like a thumb holding down prey. So as the buffalo tries to shift the lion off his back, the lion only deepens his hold. If he wants to survive, the buffalo has to stay standing. The herd doesn't charge, not wanting to take on a whole pride of hungry lions. The pride finally brings the buffalo down. It looks like they can finally eat. A hungry lioness from another pride does the unthinkable. After days without eating, these lions bring down a huge slab of beef. A hungry lioness from another pride approaches. This is going to be the mother of all catfights. In the confusion, one lion tries to keep the peace by separating the females. Big mistake. Meanwhile, remember that buffalo? The lion's first dinner in days is getting away. If he can just make it up that bank. The fate of thousands can depend on the outcome of a single fight. Under the mighty peak of Mount Kenya, a powerful killer queen is about to begin her reign. An acacia tree holds a nest of African honeybees, commonly known as killer bees. Even elephants give killer bees a very wide berth. Bees have nothing to fear from lions. The threat to their existence comes from within the hive. Their ruler is dead. Without her eggs, the colony won't survive. The race is on for a successor. The worker bees prepare 5 new queen cells. To ensure the continued strength of the colony, the occupants of these cells will fight. The strongest will become their queen. Finally, the first virgin queen emerges. She's had a head start, usually an advantage. In the next cell, another royal is ready. Now, 2 would-be queens will battle to rule the colony. The winning queen will command every bee in the hive with pheromone chemical signals. The 2 would-be rulers use these same pheromones to find each other. One is about to rule. The other, about to die. The queen that emerged first makes a surprise move, pulling her rival onto the hive floor. The competing monarchs wrestle with their legs and mandibles. They maneuver to get in a sting. Bee stings paralyze their victim. Unlike the worker bees, which have barbed stingers, the queen stingers are smooth, meaning they can be used multiple times. Its sole purpose is to kill their sisters. One sting to paralyze, then repeated stings until death. Each looks for their opponent's weakest spot, the abdomen. The younger princess breaks through the membrane. The firstborn is moments from death. The victor stings her again and again. Her life lasted barely an hour. The victorious Virgin Queen now finishes off the other would-be queens, dispatching each with a sting. Then she will mate. All being well, she will rule for up to 5 years. And the colony lives on. When you're on every predator's menu, picking a partner that protects you is a life-or-death decision. For the Ugandan cob, courtship takes place in the fighting grounds known as leks, where males battle for the right to hold center stage. The females are after the strongest buck, who can hold the middle of the lek. He will offer the best protection from predators. Without a prime spot near the center, any male's hope of wooing a female are greatly reduced. This male is the current owner of the prime position. An ambitious young buck thinks he has challenge-worthy horns. They circle one another, sizing each other up. With their rights to create a bloodline at stake, only one will win. These two Ugandan cob antelope are dueling for a prime spot in the middle of their mating ground, known as the lek. The contest catches the eye of the females, who will mate with the winner. Despite their elegant movements, there's no chivalry when these two cross swords. They watch every move, waiting for an opening, so they can do some serious damage with their horns. The cob have unique S-shaped horns over 1 foot long that curve sharply backwards and then up again. These fearsome weapons can easily tear open a throat. This ruckus goes on for most of the day, and neither opponent lands a mortal blow. Finally, the reigning champion sees his chance. Twisting his rival's neck, he hooks his horn into the chin. Now he could tear open his throat. But he misses his chance. The contender squares up for another charge. Both animals have little left in the tank. The challenger makes a run for it. But the champion intends to pay this young buck a lesson. It's a parting shot. And he's gone. For the king of this lek, winning the battle sends a clear message to other contenders. If you're gonna come at the king, you'd better not miss. This is the southern tip of Africa, home to a colony of African penguins. Thousands descend on this beach to breed. Penguins don't like to build their nest too close to other couples, so personal space is at a premium. Things can get rough. The first job for a penguin is to find a mate. 80 to 90% of mating couples stay together for life. So this adult male is pulling out all the stops for his chosen one. He shows her all of his best moves. A bit of fancy footwork. Some fancy tail wagging. And it works. Next, location, location, location. The ideal nest is close to the sea, so the commute to go fishing is short. And it's got to be secure, protecting their young from predators like seagulls. This overzealous young male digs straight into his neighbor's burrow. Collapsing both burrows. His neighbor is furious and flips out. They rain wings down on each other, exchanging up to 5 blows a second. Their thick blubber helps protect vital organs from the pummeling. The new guy fights dirty now, using his razor-sharp beak to try and gouge his opponent's eyes out. Without his eyes, the penguin won't be able to hunt or to spot predators. An old neighbor knows when he's beaten. A throaty victory call tells all that life is sweet for love's young dream. Finally have their first flipper on the property ladder. The tragic former resident swiftly leaves the bit of beach he used to call home. If the beach gets animals all hot and bothered, the wind and the snow of North America does nothing to cool tempers. This skunk and this possum are fighting it out over a burrow under a house. A home they both believe to be theirs. It's a vicious street fight. Both have formidable tools at their disposal. The possum has 50 razor-sharp teeth, the most of any North American mammal, capable of inflicting multiple severe lacerations. For his part, the skunk has his legendary defensive spray, composed of a mixture of sulfurous chemicals so foul-smelling, they will send an enemy 10 times his size running for the hills. It's his weapon of last resort. He's dominating this fight, fair and square. This would be a good time for the possum to run, if he could. His opposable thumbs are evolved to climb his way out of danger, not run in this wide-open arena. He's exposed. It's time for the possum's plan B. He plays possum. Lying completely motionless, he's in a catatonic state. He's pretending to throw the fight, until the skunk turns his back. It's gloves off. The skunk goes for his face. The possum has taken a beating. But when he brings out his weapons, it's a game changer. This skunk and this possum are fighting to the death over who rules the roost on this bit of snow-covered ground. The pulverized possum, tooled up with over 50 razor-sharp teeth, is taking one hell of a beating. Playing possum is a dangerous game and can slip him into a real catatonic state. This time it looks like he really is throwing in the towel. But having played possum before, is this another trick? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and you're going down. The possum is still in the fight. But the fight starts to leave him. Giving his opponent the count to 10, the skunk is satisfied the fight is finished. As the possum lays motionless, a murder of crows gathers, sensing a free meal. But possums are tough cookies. And incredibly, he's not only back on his feet, but he's back in the ring. After seeing the kind of punishment this possum can take, the skunk concedes and moves on. The possum can have the burrow. Some battles are not just for territory, but the future of an entire generation. Sunny, laid-back California. But beneath the waves lies a battleground. This is home to the sarcastic fringehead. Only a foot long, said to be named not for his insulting behavior, but for his mouthful of teeth, from the Greek word sarkasmos, to tear flesh. His home can be a shell, a coral crevice, anything snug and safe he can get his fins on. He's highly territorial and will fight off anything that comes too close, no matter how big. The reason this fringehead is so aggressive: a female sarcastic fringehead has laid her eggs in his shelter. She's left the male home alone to protect the spawn from potential predators and rivals. 3,000 eggs to defend means the future of his bloodline is at stake. So when a potential home invader comes by, this sarcastic fringehead goes off at the deep end. The intruder wants his shell, but first he's got to get the resident fringehead out. Dad takes the fight into the yard. He needs to finish this intruder off quick. When he opens his mouth, the fringehead reveals his weapon: 75 razor-sharp teeth. He's not all mouth. His body is highly flexible. He's fast, agile, and can change direction in an instant. When two fringeheads go head-to-head, they're trying to intimidate their rival, expanding their mouths 4 times the clothes size. The biggest mouth wins. It's the intruder. Home Alone Dad is finished. He loses his home and his family. The intruder gets the place for a steal. And the loser's spawn will be caviar in the victor's celebration.